every team has made a couple of blunders here or there.
With the 4th pick in the 2009 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks select Aaron Curry.
Every NFL team makes mistakes at the draft, so here's a dive into every NFL team's most regrettable draft move since the start of the century. Arizona Cardinals trading up for Josh Rosen, 2018. Hoping to secure a new franchise QB, the Cardinals traded up with the Oakland Raiders to get the UCLA quarterback Josh Rosen, 10th overall, in exchange for the number 15, number 179, and number 152 selections. It took Arizona just 1 year to give up on Rosen, who had 11 touchdowns and 14 picks in his rookie year. They then selected Kyler Murray, 1st overall in 2019, and wound up dealing Rosen to the Miami Dolphins. Atlanta Falcons moving up for Jamal Anderson, 2007. The Falcons traded up 2 spots with the Houston Texans to select Arkansas defensive end Jamal Anderson, 8th overall in 2008. Atlanta got a whopping 4.5 sacks over 4 seasons from Anderson. They passed on future superstars and subsequent first-round picks like Patrick Willis, Marshawn Lynch, Darrelle Revis, and Joey Staley. Baltimore Ravens, Marquise Brown, 2019. We have long stated that no NFL team drafts better than the Ravens. But you know, they swung and missed on Marquise Hollywood Brown with the number 25 pick in 2019. After inconsistent rookie and sophomore years, Brown crossed 1,000 yards receiving in 2021. Only to be traded to the Cardinals at the 2022 draft. The Ravens took Brown over a plethora of future star wideouts, including Deebo Samuel, DK Metcalf, Terry McLaurin, and A.J. Brown. Buffalo Bills, Mike Williams, 2002. The Bills were awful at drafting long before Brandon Beane joined the organization. But no draft mistake stands out more than the Mike Williams pick at number 4 overall in 2002. Buffalo took the Texas offensive lineman early, hoping he'd be a long-term anchor on their O-line. He lasted 4 seasons in Buffalo, but never once got close to reaching expectations. The Carolina Panthers trading up for Jeff Ota, 2008. There are plenty of disappointments to come out of the first round of the 2008 draft, so the Panthers at least don't have to feel alone in this regard. At the 08 draft, the Panthers gave up their 2nd and 4th round picks, plus a 2009 first to select Pittsburgh offensive lineman Jeff Ota. He lasted just 4 seasons in the NFL, and like Mike Williams in Buffalo, never grew into a steady lineman. The Eagles wound up trading that 2009 first-rounder to Buffalo, and they got future Hall of Fame offensive tackle Jason Peters as a part of the trade. So a big ouch for the Panthers. Chicago Bears, Mitch Trubisky over Patrick Mahomes, 2017. Do we really need to explain this? The Bears traded up 1 spot with the San Francisco 49ers to take Trubisky. They infamously passed on Patrick Mahomes, who is only the best player in the NFL right now. Trubisky lasted 4 mediocre seasons in Chicago and never even came close to being an above-average player. Cincinnati Bengals, John Ross, 2017. The Washington wideout turned heads at the NFL Combine when he ran a 4.22 second 40, a record that still stands to this day. At the 2017 draft, the Bengals took Ross 9th overall, hoping that he would form a prolific tandem alongside Andy Dalton. But injuries limited Ross to just 27 games as a Bengal over 4 years, and he hauled in just 51 receptions for 733 yards and 10 touchdowns in that span. Cleveland Browns, Courtney Brown, 2000. No team has wasted more first-round picks in this century than the Browns. Brown was a highly touted linebacker out of Penn State, winning Big Ten Defensive Lineman of the Year and Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year. So, what did he bring to Cleveland? How about a whopping 17 sacks and 6 forced fumbles over 6 seasons? Dallas Cowboys, moving up for Morris Claiborne, 2012. Love him or hate him, Jerry Jones usually makes good use of his first-round picks. Claiborne, however, was an exception. At the 2012 draft, the Cowboys traded the number 14 and number 45 picks to the St. Louis Rams in order to move up for the LSU corner, whom they took 6th overall. Claiborne spent 5 years in Dallas, but never really came close to reaching stardom. Other first-rounders that Dallas passed on include Luke Kuechly, Chandler Jones, Harrison Smith, Stephon Gilmore, and Fletcher Cox. Denver Broncos, Paxton Lynch, 2016. The Broncos lost Peyton Manning to retirement, and planned successor Brock Osweiler went to Houston in free agency. A desperate John Elway traded the number 31 and number 94 picks to the Seattle Seahawks for the number 96 selection so that he could take Memphis QB Paxton Lynch. Elway was well known for loving his tall QBs. The 6'7", 244-pound Lynch had the size and physical tools, but just never really put it together. Denver only needed to see 4 starts from Lynch over 4 years before deciding to give up on him. Detroit Lions, Jeff Okudah, 2020. The Lions traded Pro Bowler and fan favorite Darius Slay to the Eagles, then tried replacing him by using the number 3 pick on Ohio State's Jeff Okudah. Injuries unfortunately limited Okudah to 10 games over his first 2 seasons. He finally stayed healthy and pieced together a solid year in 2022, but the Lions surprisingly gave up and traded him to the Atlanta Falcons for a 5th-round pick. Green Bay Packers, Jamal Reynolds, 2001. The Packers are usually excellent in the early rounds of the draft, but they'd surely like a do-over on their 2001 first-round selection on Jamal Reynolds. The Florida State defensive end went 10th overall to the Packers, but they didn't get a good return on the investment. Reynolds recorded just 3 sacks in the 3 seasons and was out of the NFL by 2004. Houston Texans, David Carr, 2002. As an expansion franchise, the Texans were awarded the number 1 selection in 2002, and they used that on Fresno State quarterback David Carr, hoping that he would serve as the main building block for the franchise. Now, Carr can't take all the blame because the Texans gave him a horrible supporting cast. For example, he was sacked a record 76 times in his rookie season. Carr went 22-53 as Houston starter over 5 years and had 59 touchdowns against 65 interceptions. Indianapolis Colts, Philip Dorsett, 2015. The Colts signed Andre Johnson and Frank Gore to a prolific offense that already had T.Y. Hilton, Dante Moncrief, Kobe Fleener, and Dwayne Allen. It simply made no sense to draft another receiver when they had so many other pressing needs. Dorsett had 2 underwhelming seasons in Indy before getting traded to New England in 2017. Jacksonville Jaguars, Blaine Gabbert, 2011. The Jaguars traded up to select Blaine Gabbert 10th overall in 2011. That amounted to 5 total wins from him over the next 3 years. The next pick, J.J. Watt. Kansas City Chiefs, Glenn Dorsey, 2008. The Jets took Dorsey with the number 5 selection in the 08 draft, and boy, was that a total whiff. Dorsey had only 4 sacks in 5 seasons with the Chiefs, with 2 of them coming alone in the 2010 season. Las Vegas Raiders, JAMARCUS Russell, 2007. Russell was taken 1st overall in the star-studded 07 draft. We all know what the final result of that was: a 7-18 record over 3 years, a 52.1 completion percentage, and 18 touchdowns against 23 interceptions. Los Angeles Chargers trading up for Ryan Matthews, 2010. The Chargers swung a trade with Miami to move into the 12th overall spot so they could select Fresno State running back Ryan Matthews 12th overall. Matthews had 2 1,000-yard seasons as a Charger, but he didn't really move the needle on offense that much. The Bolts could have used a more impactful player like Brandon Graham, Earl Thomas, Jason Pierre-Paul, Marquise Pouncey, Demaryius Thomas, or even Devin McCourty, all of whom were taken after Matthews in round 1. Los Angeles Rams, Sam Bradford, 2010. Bradford was taken 1st overall by the Rams in 2010. He pieced together a solid first season, winning Offensive Rookie of the Year honors, but Jeff Fisher's awful coaching ways, the lack of a supporting cast, and the injury bug all prevented Bradford from ever hitting his prime. Miami Dolphins, the move up for Dion Jordan, 2013. The Dolphins gave up the number 12 and number 42 selections to the Raiders so that they could get Oregon defensive end Dion Jordan with the number 3 pick. Miami's trade up for Jordan yielded 3 sacks in 26 games. Minnesota Vikings, Troy Williamson, 2005. The Vikings got the number 7 pick from the Raiders in the Randy Moss blockbuster trade. And suffice to say, it didn't work out for anybody. Williamson lasted just 3 seasons with the Vikings and never topped 455 yards in a season. New England Patriots, N'Keal Harry, 2019. Harry's 3 seasons in New England amounted to 57 receptions for 598 yards and 4 touchdowns. I think they might have done better with Samuel, Metcalf, McLaurin, or A.J. Brown. New Orleans Saints, Jonathan Sullivan, 2003. The Saints agreed to trade with Arizona so they could move into the number 6 spot. With that pick, New Orleans took Georgia defensive tackle Jonathan Sullivan. He had a mere 1.5 sacks and 78 combined tackles over 3 seasons with the club. He was out of the NFL entirely after the 2005 season. New York Giants, Eric Flowers, 2015. Needing to bolster their O-line, the Giants took offensive lineman Eric Flowers 9th overall in 2015. Needless to say, it was a disaster from the get-go. He was practically a replacement-level player throughout his tenure in the Meadowlands. New York Jets trading up for Sam Darnold. 2018. The Jets completed a blockbuster trade at the Colts to move into the number 3 slot. They settled on Sam Darnold. Just add Darnold to the ever-growing Jets QB graveyard. Philadelphia Eagles, Jalen Reagor, 2020. Justin Jefferson is arguably the best wide receiver in the NFL right now. Want to know who Philly took right before him? Jalen Reagor in the number 21 spot. Pittsburgh Steelers, Jarvis Jones, 2013. The Steelers took the Georgia linebacker 17th overall in 2013, but even the club's top-level coaching staff couldn't get much out of him. Jones had just 6 sacks and 2 forced fumbles over 4 seasons. He was out of the NFL after that. San Francisco 49ers, Solomon Thomas, 2017. After trading down one spot with Chicago, San Fran used the number 3 pick in 2017 on Stanford defensive end Solomon Thomas. He had just 6 sacks in 4 years with the 49ers, which is awful. Seattle Seahawks, Aaron Curry, 2009. Curry was supposed to be the next big thing at his position, but it just never really came together for him in the NFL. He had just 5.5 sacks and 4 forced fumbles over his 3 years with the Hawks. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Mark Barron, 2012. He lasted just 2.5 seasons with the Buccaneers before getting traded to the Rams. The next 5 guys taken after Barron all became Pro Bowlers: Ryan Tannehill, Luke Kuechly, Stephon Gilmore, Dontari Poe, and Fletcher Cox. Tennessee Titans, Vince Young, 2006. After leading the Texas Longhorns to the 05 National Championship, Young was taken 3rd overall by Tennessee in 2006. Blame Jeff Fisher or the lack of quality receivers if you wish, but Young just never materialized into the star that many had envisioned. Washington Commanders, selling the farm for Robert Griffin III, 2012. In order to get their 2011 Heisman Trophy winner, Washington sent 2012, 2013, and 2014 first-round picks, plus a second-rounder in 2012 to move into the number 2 spot. They selected Robert Griffin III right after the Colts took Andrew Luck 1st overall. Now, Griffin had an epic first year, winning Offensive Rookie of the Year honors and leading Washington to a surprise division title. Unfortunately, Washington's medical staff and coaches showed zero regard for Griffin's bad knee, and it didn't take long for injuries to completely derail his career. Griffin wound up being Washington's primary starter for only 2 seasons before getting released in 2016. But what were some other regrettable draft moves made by your team in the 21st century? Let us know in the comment section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton. And hey, we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to CPS though, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you guys next time.